small-town grocery store in Austin, Texas was humming with the usual energy that Friday evening. Mothers hurried with kids, teens chatted while grabbing energy drinks, and the elderly shuffled slowly with their carts. Nobody expected anything extraordinary. It was just another day, or so they thought. Emma Carter, a 24-year-old cashier with bright hazel eyes and an easy smile, was midway through her shift at Greenleaf Market. She had just finished helping a young mother with coupons when the automatic doors swung open again. Emma barely glanced up, it was muscle memory by now. She scanned the next customer's items automatically, her mind half-drifting. But something about this man caught her attention. He wore a simple black t-shirt, jeans, and sneakers. No flashy jewelry. No security detail. Just a baseball cap pulled low over his face. He looked familiar, but she couldn't place him at first. She smiled politely and began scanning the items, a couple of energy bars, a bottle of water, a pack of batteries, and a box of cereal. "That'll be $22.43, Emma said cheerfully. The man patted his pockets and pulled out a folded wad of cash. He handed her a 20 and began fishing around for loose change in his pockets. His hand came up empty. He patted the other pocket. Nothing. Then he checked his wallet again and gave a sheepish smile. "I'm $1 short," he said casually, shrugging. "Mind if I owe you?" Emma laughed lightly. "Store policy, sir." "I'm sorry, I can't let anything go unpaid." The man chuckled, seeming genuinely amused. He reached into his back pocket and retrieved a crumpled bill. He smoothed it out and placed it on the counter. Emma picked it up, but it wasn't $1. It was a $5 bill. She handed him back $3 and some coins from the register. As she was doing so, she caught a better look at his face, those unmistakable sharp features, the slightly mischievous glint in his eye. Her breath hitched. "No way," she muttered before she could stop herself. You're Elon Musk." The entire line behind him, about 7 people deep, froze. Heads turned. Conversation stopped. It was as if someone had pressed a giant mute button in the store. Elon chuckled and gave a playful wink. Guilty as charged. People started pulling out their phones. A ripple of excitement traveled through the store like an electric shock. Within seconds, whispers filled the air. "Elon Musk is here. It's him. What's he doing in our grocery store?" Emma's hands trembled slightly as she finished processing the transaction. She slid his items into a reusable bag with exaggerated care, as if afraid they might turn into gold if she touched them wrong. "I can't believe this is happening," Emma whispered. You're really here?" "Just needed some cereal and batteries," Elon said with a grin. "SpaceX doesn't exactly stock Fruit Loops." The entire store burst into laughter. At that moment, Emma noticed the manager, Mr. Brooks, sprinting from the back office, nearly tripping over a display of canned beans in his haste. His face was flushed with excitement. "Mr. Musk," Brooks wheezed. "We are so honored. Please, let us comp your groceries free on the house." But Elon held up a hand, that same calm, steady hand that had waved off media storms and billion-dollar business deals. "No, thank you," Elon said firmly. "I want to pay just like everyone else. That's how it should be." The store went dead silent again. Emma stared at him, utterly stunned. In an age where celebrities often expected VIP treatment everywhere they went, Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, had just insisted on paying to the last penny, even after being $1 short initially. And somehow that small moment felt bigger than any news headline. The atmosphere inside Greenleaf Market had shifted dramatically. It was no longer just a grocery store, it was a living, breathing story unfolding in real time. A few brave customers edged closer, phones in hand, snapping photos and recording quick videos. Some tried to be discreet, others didn't even pretend. Emma's cheeks burned with a mixture of excitement and nerves. She had just told Elon Musk, that he couldn't owe the store $1. And instead of throwing a fit or acting entitled, he had laughed it off. Treated it like it was the most normal thing in the world. As she handed him his change and receipt, she couldn't help but blurt out, Can I get a selfie with you?" Elon grinned. "Of course." Emma darted around the counter, fumbling to open her phone's camera app. Elon leaned in slightly, and with a quick tap, she captured the moment, her beaming smile alongside the world's most recognizable tech entrepreneur. The flash lit up the front of the store, and suddenly everyone else wanted their moment too. A line began to form, customers abandoning their carts just to get a photo. A little girl with a pink bow in her hair shyly tugged at Elon's shirt. "Are you really the Rocket Man?" she asked, wide-eyed. Elon crouched down to her level and said, "I guess you could say that. One day, maybe you'll fly one of my rockets." The little girl's face lit up and her mother choked back tears, whispering, "Thank you," as she took a photo of them together. Meanwhile, the store manager, Mr. Brooks, kept fluttering around like a nervous butterfly, making frantic calls to someone, corporate office, maybe, and whispering about press releases and photo ops. Elon, however, seemed completely unfazed. After posing for a few more photos, he picked up his bag of groceries and turned back to Emma, who was still standing there, stunned. "Thank you for being honest," he said, his voice sincere. "A lot of people would have just waved it off. But you stuck to your principles." Emma swallowed hard. "It's just store policy. You know." "Maybe," Elon said, pausing thoughtfully. "But character shows up in small moments. Not when people are watching. When they're not." Emma had no idea what to say. She wasn't used to billionaires or anyone, for that matter, paying her compliments that sounded like life lessons. Then, out of nowhere, Elon reached into his pocket again. This time, he pulled out a sleek metal card, no logos, no bank names, just a tiny engraved X symbol. He handed it to Emma. "What's this?" she asked, confused. "A card," Elon said with a wink. "If you're ever interested in working somewhere a little bigger than Greenleaf Market, give that number a call. Tell them I sent you." Emma gawked at the card like it was made of solid gold. Behind her, the customers gasped. One teenager whispered, "Oh my God, she's getting a job at Tesla." Another chimed in, "No, SpaceX. It's gotta be SpaceX." Emma felt dizzy. She glanced up to see Elon waving casually as he made his way out the door, back into the warm Texas evening, slipping away as effortlessly as he had arrived. The moment he disappeared through the automatic doors, the store exploded into noise. Cheering, laughing, people talking over each other, already posting photos and videos online. Emma clutched the metal card to her chest, heart hammering. Had that really just happened? $1 short, and now her whole life might be about to change. All because she did the right thing. Emma's hands were still trembling as she tucked the silver card safely into her apron pocket. She barely heard the buzz of the store around her, customers laughing, phones dinging, Mr. Brooks babbling about calling the news. It was like she was floating. Emma, one of her co-workers, Jason, a college kid who stocked shelves part-time, rushed over, waving his phone wildly. "You're all over Twitter already." He shoved the screen in front of her. There she was standing beside Elon Musk, her eyes wide with shock, grinning like she had just won the lottery. The caption read, "Girl tells Elon Musk he's $1 short and sticks to store policy. Elon rewards her with a mysterious job offer. #legend, #respect, #Elon Musk." Already it had thousands of retweets and likes. Emma's stomach flipped. She had never been known outside of her little world. Now, millions of people were seeing her messy ponytail and green leaf apron splashed all over the internet. "Emma, you need to go home and prepare," Mr. Brooks was saying, half yelling over the noise. "This is going viral. News trucks are going to show up here in an hour, I can feel it. You need to be ready. We'll cover your shift, go, go, go." Emma blinked. "Prepare for what?" Brooks grabbed her shoulders and stared at her, dead serious. "For your life to change." By the time Emma stepped into her tiny one-bedroom apartment that evening, it had already started. Her phone had exploded with calls and texts from people she hadn't spoken to in years, high school friends, distant cousins, even her former algebra teacher. "Emma, is this real? Are you really getting hired by Elon Musk? Come on my podcast. Talk about it. Hey, long time no see, can you hook me up with a Tesla discount?" Faced with tears of joy, she sat heavily on the couch, overwhelmed. She hadn't even called the number on the card yet. Her mind was still stuck back at the register, with Elon Musk smiling that easy smile as he handed her that sleek card. On instinct, she pulled it out of her apron pocket and examined it more carefully under her reading lamp. On the back, in tiny silver letters, was a phone number. No area code. No label. Nothing. Emma's hands shook slightly as she punched the number into her phone and hit call. It rang once. Twice. 3 times. Then a cool, professional female voice answered. "Hello, you've reached SpaceX Executive Operations. Please state your name and the code provided." Emma froze. I'm Emma Carter. Elon Musk gave me a card? There's no code, just his name." There was a pause on the other end. Emma imagined the person tapping keys furiously. Then the voice came back, even calmer. "Thank you, Emma. We've been expecting your call. Mr. Musk left instructions. Can you come to the SpaceX campus in Hawthorne, California, for a meeting this Monday? We'll arrange your travel." Emma nearly dropped the phone. "Meeting? About what?" she stammered. Mr. Musk will explain everything personally, the woman said smoothly. Emma's mouth went dry. Personally? Elon Musk himself? Again? Oh, and one more thing, the woman added. Bring the card with you. It's your key. Before Emma could ask anything else, the line clicked dead. She sat there in stunned silence, the phone still pressed to her ear as the room around her seemed to tilt and spin. She was just a grocery store cashier. She had no degree in engineering. No experience building rockets. No fancy resume. What could Elon Musk possibly want with her? As she sat there, staring blankly at the walls, her TV, left on from earlier, flashed with breaking news. Small-town cashier meets Elon Musk, internet reacts with shock and praise. Cashier stands her ground, Elon Musk offers her mysterious opportunity. Emma watched in disbelief as her own selfie with Elon filled the screen, accompanied by a news anchor saying this young woman's life may have just changed forever. Emma Carter had gone from invisible to headline news in less than 12 hours. And somehow she had a feeling this was only the beginning. Monday came faster than Emma could have ever imagined. 1 minute she was standing behind a cash register, and the next, she was stepping off a private charter flight in Los Angeles, clutching the silver card so tightly her fingers hurt. A black car with no visible logos picked her up at the terminal. The driver, wearing a simple black suit and dark sunglasses, said nothing except, "Welcome, Ms. Carter," and opened the door for her. The drive to SpaceX headquarters felt like something out of a dream. Massive rockets towered over the buildings, their white bodies gleaming in the California sun. Engineers buzzed around, carrying tablets and wearing badges with futuristic designs. The air smelled like ambition and innovation, like something incredible was always just about to happen. The driver pulled up to a sleek glass building and stopped. "This is your stop," he said, handing her a visitor badge. "They're expecting you." Emma, feeling entirely out of place in her simple blue dress and flats, stepped out of the car and approached the entrance. As she passed through the doors, she was immediately greeted by a woman in a sharp black suit. "Ms. Carter?" the woman asked with a kind smile. "Right this way." Emma followed her down long hallways lined with framed photos of rocket launches, Mars simulations, and quotes from Elon himself like, "When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor." Finally, they arrived at a conference room with enormous glass windows overlooking a massive manufacturing floor. Inside, sitting casually at the head of the table with a can of Diet Coke in hand, was Elon Musk. He stood up when Emma entered. "Emma, good to see you again," he said warmly. Emma felt her throat tighten. "Hi, Mr. Musk. Thanks for, inviting me." He chuckled. "Please, call me Elon. And thank you. Honestly, we could use a few more people like you around here." She sat down carefully, unsure of what was happening. Elon leaned forward. "All business now. I have a philosophy when it comes to hiring. Skills can be taught. Integrity cannot. You showed something most people don't have anymore. You held your ground even when it would have been easier not to." Emma blinked. "You want to hire me because I didn't let you slide on $1? He smiled, that mischievous spark in his eye. "Exactly." He continued, "I run some projects that require people we can trust absolutely. People who won't fudge numbers. Who won't cut corners? Who will speak up when something is wrong, even if it's uncomfortable. That's why you're here?" Emma's head spun. "But I don't have a degree. I don't know engineering. I'm just a cashier." Elon shrugged. "Training can fix that. Character, though? You've either got it or you don't. And you've got it." He slid a folder across the table to her. Inside was an offer letter. Emma skimmed it, her eyes widening. Full-time position on the SpaceX operations team. Full relocation assistance. A starting salary that was more money than she'd ever dreamed of making. Full tuition reimbursement if she wanted to study further. Emma's heart raced. She looked up at Elon, who was watching her with quiet amusement. This changes everything," she whispered. He nodded. "That's the idea." Suddenly, she remembered the silver card. She pulled it out of her bag and held it up. "This really was a key, wasn't it?" she said, half laughing, half crying. Elon grinned. "For the right door, yes." Emma sat back, overwhelmed, as the reality settled into her bones. She had come from a small town, working double shifts just to pay the bills. She had no rich parents, no fancy diploma on her wall. But somehow, because she had stuck to her principles over a single dollar, a single moment, she was now sitting across from one of the most powerful men on the planet, with an entire new future ahead of her. And in that moment, Emma Carter realized something. She belonged here, maybe not because of her resume, but because of who she was. The days that followed were a whirlwind. Emma officially accepted the offer, packed her entire life into 2 suitcases, and moved to Hawthorne. SpaceX provided her with a temporary apartment just minutes away from headquarters, sleek and modern. A far cry from her tiny old apartment with peeling wallpaper and a leaky faucet. Her first day at SpaceX was surreal. Instead of scanning groceries, she was now scanning manifests for rocket components. She assisted in quality control, double-checked orders for supplies, and cross-referenced shipment schedules. The work was intense, technical, and at first, overwhelming. But Emma was determined. Every night, she took online classes SpaceX paid for, working toward a degree in supply chain management. She attended workshops, asked questions, stayed late. It wasn't easy. There were moments of doubt. Moments she felt like an imposter among engineers and scientists who tossed around words like hypergolic and ion thrusters casually in conversation. But whenever she faltered, she remembered the moment at the grocery store when she stood firm, even facing one of the richest men in the world. She had earned her place. Weeks turned into months. Emma proved herself over and over, catching errors no one else noticed, spotting flaws in shipping routes, even suggesting a more efficient inventory system that saved SpaceX thousands of dollars in 1 quarter alone. Elon noticed. One afternoon, after an all-hands meeting, he pulled her aside. "You know, Emma," he said with a smirk, "you're making it hard for people to keep underestimating you." Emma laughed, a real, genuine laugh. She wasn't afraid of him anymore. He was still Elon Musk, brilliant, intimidating, but she realized he respected her. And she respected herself. Soon, Emma was promoted to supervisor of logistics. Her story exploded again when SpaceX's official Twitter posted a photo of her standing in front of a Falcon 9 rocket with the caption, "From cashier to critical operations leader, integrity always finds its launchpad." Rocket hashtag Emma Carter hashtag SpaceX family. Talk shows invited her on. She appeared in a human interest segment on national news. Schools asked her to speak to students about resilience and ethics. Even Greenleaf Grocery called, asking if she'd come visit. They wanted to put up a plaque in her honor by the register where it all began. Emma laughed and agreed. When she returned to her hometown for a visit, the entire town turned out to greet her. Kids wore "Be Like Emma" t-shirts. The mayor gave her the key to the city. Standing there on the small, familiar streets, looking out over faces she had known her whole life, Emma felt a lump rise in her throat. It hadn't been about chasing fame. It hadn't been about getting rich. It had been about doing the right thing even when no one was watching. About believing that small actions mattered. And somehow, that tiny moment, a simple cashier standing her ground over a missing dollar, had launched her into a future bigger than she ever dreamed. 6 months later, Emma stood on the VIP platform at Cape Canaveral watching the countdown to the latest Falcon 9 launch. She had helped coordinate the supplies for the mission. Her initials were even carved discreetly into one of the cargo containers thanks to a prank by her coworkers. 10, 9, 8. Emma closed her eyes, feeling the ground tremble beneath her feet. 7, 6. She wasn't just witnessing history anymore. She was part of it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. A thunderous roar filled the sky as the rocket soared upward, a trail of fire and ambition behind it. Emma smiled, tears slipping down her cheeks. All because of a missing dollar. All because she hadn't backed down. All because she had believed in that tiny moment that the right thing was worth standing for. And now, she was going places she never even dared to imagine.